Here are today's top news happenings and why they matter. Zimbabwean journalist Blessed Mhlanga has appeared in court in the capital Harare, where he faces charges of transmitting messages intended to incite public violence. DW's correspondent in Zimbabwe, Privilege Mushaniri, tells us why this journalist is being charged and why this story matters.
Blessed Mhlanga was detained on Monday after presenting himself to the police following a manhunt issued last week. The journalist faces charges under Zimbabwe's criminal code for allegedly transmitting information that incites violence and property damage. At the heart of these accusations is an interview he conducted with liberation veteran Blessed Geza, a vocal critic of presidential term extensions, used Mhlanga's online television platform to call for President Mnangagwa's immediate resignation through a series of explosive press briefings. Why does this matter? President Mnangagwa recently declared he would honor the constitutional two-term limit, a statement that has drawn both praise and skepticism. Many Zimbabweans view these developments through the lens of their nation history, where former President Robert Mugabe's four-decade rule set a concerning precedent. There are widespread fears that constitutional amendments could once again enable a president to maintain power well beyond intended limits.
To Sudan now, and there are concerns of worsening humanitarian crisis in Sudan's largest displacement camp after medical charity Doctors Without Borders, MSF, suspended operations. The group says it can no longer carry out its operations in the camp due to escalating violence. Why does this matter? This particular camp in North Darfur shelters more than 500,000 people, according to United Nations figures. The MSF facility in Zamzam was originally established to fight malnutrition in the camp and does not have the means to provide trauma surgery. 11 patients died in the hospital because the staff could not treat them properly or transfer them to a hospital in the capital. 5 of those who died were children. Fighting between the Sudanese Army and the Paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, has intensified this month in the camp after the RSF stormed Zamzam. The clash has forced about 10,000 families to flee, according to the International Organization for Migration. Meanwhile, the UN Secretary General's spokesperson, Stefan Dujarric, told reporters on Monday that the UN chief is worried about the deepening crisis in Sudan.
The Secretary General also condemns the persistent violence perpetrated against civilians across the Sudan by both parties to the conflict, including ethnically motivated attacks. Sudanese women, Sudanese children, and men are paying the heaviest price for the continued military offensives by the belligerents in this conflict.
And finally, the United Nations Security Council has adopted a US draft resolution on the 3rd anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. What was the resolution about? The resolution called for a rapid end to the war but makes no mention of Russian aggression. The vote in the 15-member council was 10-0, with 5 countries, including France and the United Kingdom, abstaining. The 3-year milestone of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, meanwhile, drew more than a dozen Western leaders to Kiev for commemorative events in show of support. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin says Europe's participation in Ukraine peace talks will be needed, but has suggested in an interview with the Russian state television that a deal to end the conflict may still be far off. And that's all we had for you today. For more in-depth analysis of news happening, subscribe to our YouTube channel, DW Africa. Also, do please leave your comments. My name is Andrew Wasike.